Hi guys, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a Divine Feminine read for you today with lots of Divine Feminine and Masculine information, as well as sand art, and I'll do oracle cards at the end. Today is November 13th, 2018. So the energies from today were the 13, which is the Death card, which is transformation, transition, but also can be the end of things, and also the 9 of Wands. So the day adds up to 35-8. So 8 of inner strength and outer strength, also of manifestation and staying at 0 point. But it's the 35, which to me is a lot about big business. The 5 of freedom on the inside, and then the 3 of being social on the outside, being able to deal with people at the same time. And just be social and express yourself freely. But this is the 9 of Wands. Okay, it's the wounded warrior energy. It's about protecting all these energies that you've struggled for, instead of just letting go of the past and just being who you are now in the present. So we have the Death card, and we have the 9 of Wands. Okay, so it's good energy because we're coming up to the 9 of Wands, and then tomorrow's the 10 of Wands. So it's the ending of this clinging to the suffering. Okay, well that's the kind of energy that's coming up. I'm also getting the calm before the storm, which I'm going to get into the sand art right now. So I saw someone who always has a toothpick in their mouth. I saw snowflakes, so some people are getting their first snows for the year. Teeth and smiling. Also, I'm seeing ice skating rinks in the mountains, so natural ice skating rinks, as well as breaking bread. I'm seeing butterflies and flocks. It was amazing, the flocks that I was watching just outside my house, like how quickly the flocks were just zooming into the trees around my house. And it was weird because they weren't coming to my tree, which they do a lot. They were just zooming into the trees at my neighbors' houses around me, but constantly back and forth to the woods and across the street from my house, and then back to the properties. So it's kind of cool to see, and all different kinds of birds, robins and some kind of jays and sparrows, things like that. I was seeing a cut or an open wound healing, that it must be left open now and uncovered to heal, which is good because that's the last part of the healing process, right? I'm also seeing tobogganing, as well as someone hitting their car on the post when they were parking. You know how like you pull up a little too far and you hit the post? Also a crossing guard, so hopefully no one hit a crossing guard. But I'm seeing a crossing guard like stopping the cars as well. I saw inchworm and dough, a venting tube. So you might want to check some of your gas vents in your houses. I was getting that a lot this week about gas. So your heater, things like that. That there's a storm brewing. I was seeing shadow people, as well as preparing for a storm. So like I said, it's the quiet before the storm. And 8's actually more getting into the storm. So 7, like yesterday, would have been more of the calm before the storm. And today is more like preparing for the storm and cleaning up. So getting things in order. Also is getting the dark side of the mountain, and the dark side of the moon came up. But this was also paralleling because I watched Close Encounters of the Third Kind yesterday. And I'm literally seeing that. So in Close Encounters, when they meet the ETs, Richard Dreyfuss climbs over to the dark side of the mountain because the side they were getting away from was very exposed, where people were trying to hunt them down to make sure nobody was around. And they got to the other side of the mountain, which was the dark side of the mountain. So the dark side of the moon was coming up this week as well. So, but on the dark side was where they met the ETs. So that was really cool. And then in the cards that I did, and Spirit's connecting with me, cards that I did yesterday, just on my own before I went to bed, the last cards I pulled, they were kind of just extra cards. And there was literally all the people watching the ETs from the movie, like in awe. So it was really cool how everything's coming together. So situations like that, and remember, it's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So however it works in your situation, that's the energy that was coming up. Okay? It also could be seeing the twins coming together into union and the people around them like looking in awe, like never believing that that would happen, that kind of thing. That's the energy I was getting. So I'm going to get right into the read. For the Divine Feminine was done at 11:14 today. There were no major arcana at all. There was 2 swords, 3 wands, 3 cups, and 3 pentacles, so well distributed. And the court cards were Page of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, and the King of Wands. Okay? So that can insinuate a masculine with their kids, but it was also about the feminine with their kids today. A lot about children. Children came up in the romance angels and the underlying energy. So it's all about relating to your children, whether it's your own children, other people's children, or your inner child, and dealing with you and your twin and your inner children. Okay? The coding that came up was all about spiritual partnership and music, and using music, okay, to enhance your spiritual partnership. The numbers coming up were 8, 9, 17, 44, 99, 49, 44, and then 2, 3, 3, 3, and 49 I said. And also is getting fire. The coding was all about fire departments, and kind of like an 8 to 9 alarm fire. And so I was looking this stuff up. But it's also about ending the fire department, like maybe an 8 alarm fire or 8 nights of fire, you know, which we had a lot of fire out in California. I don't know that it was 8 nights, but that was coming up as 8 nights of fire departments becomes 9 and ends. All right, so it might be an 8 alarm fire becomes a 9 alarm fire and ends with a kiss and a hug. And I wrote, instead of hug, when I wrote the G, instead I wrote a P. And HUP is University of Penn, so I don't know if something had to do with that. Maybe they got a lot of, maybe there was a fire somewhere in Philadelphia last night and a lot of people ended up going to HUP. I don't know, but that's what was written instead of hug. But with a kiss and a hug and then music. So there might be like a celebration after, so maybe a fire department was celebrating, maybe out in California after everything they went through. But it was coming up about putting out fires, all right, and huge disastrous fire type things. 8 nights was coming up, like I said, and ending. So I looked up the like 8 alarm, you know, the different meanings for them. So what came up in the headings online that I came up that resonated with me. One was just a definition of flame, which in Latin is F-L-A-M-M-E, or A. I think it's an E at the end. Is the visible gaseous part. All right, so gas is coming up here again. All right, it's very important. Someone is having trouble with gas, maybe me as well, and I just had mine checked, but when I was downstairs, I was definitely getting, there's still a little bit of gas smell around my my furnace. Maybe there's some misfiring, that kind of stuff. So check yours too. I was just losing my voice, which, you know, would happen with the gas and a fire. So flame is the visible gaseous part of the fire. Very hot flames are hot enough to have ionized gaseous components of sufficient density to be considered plasma. Okay? And the other part of it was that exothermic reaction in a thin zone is what causes the flame. I was also getting Montreal, a fire that happened in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. A fire, it was at 10:30 p.m. on Elms Avenue. Also a 9 alarm fire in Boston came up. And a 9 alarm fire is a disaster, calling in everyone. So the military would be included at that point as well. So close encounters, it's reminding me too, because everybody was called in for the ETs to land. So 8 alarm, one of the examples for an 8 alarm fire was 450 firefighters. How many, and some definitions have to do with how many fire trucks or stations were called in. It's different depending on whether it's an urban area or out in the country, because obviously there'd be more fire stations or less depending on what the population was. So for the Divine Feminine, what was coming up is sitting on a pile of money, dreaming of soulmate, and also at the same time ending all your stress and anxiety, releasing all of your pain. The Queen of Swords speaks about anxiety and feeling imprisoned when not aligned with your own truth. As there's a King of Cups here, listening to her truth, of taking one step at a time and possibly watching her take those steps, whether it's in her front yard, in the wet grass, or in a pond, or someone from afar watching who's healing a broken heart. So I was getting a little weird feeling too, because I was definitely getting someone literally watching the Divine Feminine doing some things, but it's also, this doesn't have to be Divine Masculine. It's a King of Cups energy. It definitely could be a karmic energy as well on either side. But a karmic energy healing their broken heart and watching, though. Some may be actually stalking the Divine Feminine. Okay, so just no fear there, just an understanding of what might be going on. Or it could just be a water sign male thinking about what an air sign female had said, or they can just have those qualities. It doesn't have to be an air sign or a water sign. But it's definitely the male water, maybe thinking about what an air sign female had said and now taking it to heart. That he wasn't seeing her point of view when she was just trying to make things easier for him. His anxiety was blocking her, and she now refusing the anxiety type prison situation because she's been there before and already now understands that trap. So the masculines are going into that anxiety, freaking out, anger type thing, which I was definitely dealing with my son on that, which is fine, but it's about them getting frustrated and then just being unreasonable, and that also arrogance was coming up here. Okay, so it could be, it's the underlying energy is all about children, so it could very well be about adult children or the Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine's inner children. The King of Cups is generally loving, but is coming off as stubborn and arrogant, so this could be your masculine children as well as your Divine Masculine or Karmics, okay? So it's just the masculines in general. So a King of Cups who is normally or generally loving, someone you know, is coming off as stubborn and arrogant when defensive, as he is fantasizing about a dream girl, a magenta flower or vase, and a dessert potentially, and a peaceful roll in the hay or down by the riverside, while letting her do all the work. While the Divine Feminine is dreaming of romance, true love, and him seeing her as his dream girl. So it was just coming up as seeing the different perspectives, whether this is the mother and the son dealing with things, or the twins dealing with this. It's just that coming to the same place but through two different perspectives. Okay, both avoiding the issues at hand, but more about the feminine sadness that he refuses to see, as he avoids looking everywhere. So he's avoiding by looking everywhere but actually directly at her, when in fact she is the one searching the heavens for her true love, while he feels he has lost his true love, searching the seas or the grounds, okay? So you see this paralleling the feminine dealing with more of the etheric realms and the masculines dealing with more grounding. So healing comes up also as the underlying energy here. Up at night or rising above moments of ungroundedness, the Queen of Pentacles energy is coming up here as integrating gold and platinum, as opposed to black and white, though it's all good, to boldly move, travel, or ascend to the dark side of her son, her inner child, or Divine Masculine, or her actual own inspiration. The dark side, the shadow side, and how that is actually an inspiration at times. So earth and air may be a little bit turned around, but Capricorn and Cancer are powerful with a little spice of fire for inspiration, releasing the patriarchy and grounding in the mother, the Queen of Pentacles, who is actually the Empress in waiting. Single mothers who had to take on the role of the mother and father and stability, causing a lot of stress and anxiety in the past, thinking how much easier things would have been financially in a partnership. That heartbreak drains family finances, but inspiration also comes when stabilizing stress and anxiety. Or you can see stress and anxiety in the positive way, because the same feeling is being overwhelmed or with excitement or anticipation. So instead of feeling like something's pulling at you, notice it's because you're excited about something or you're anticipating something as a positive energy. Healing the children with peace, nature, and showing them how to shine their light. Recently, for the Divine Feminine, was completion and or achievement with a new passion for their own sovereignty and happiness and comfort, their own happiness and comfort within their own home. Alone without the King of Cups, who may have been emotionally manipulating. So any masculine, watery energy, whether it be a child or men acting like children in a negative aspect, is coming up here, because the King of Cups was definitely coming up reversed. The foundation, and that's all in the underlying energies of the recent past, okay? So the foundation has to do with the King of Wands. And again, in the Sirian starseed, the King of Wands is shaman energy. And it was interesting, because whereas I normally might bring this up as the Divine Masculine, I really wasn't. I was getting it as a karmic of the Divine Feminine, this King of Wands. But it could be the Divine Masculine as well. Depends on your situation. But I was seeing this foundation. I was also getting this as the children's father. Okay? So, exposing spirituality, this King of Wands, and or divorce or breaking contract, overindulging in uncomfortable feelings of betrayal, death, or physical back pain to end a cycle with their children and heartbreak. So some of the karmics of the feminine, the masculines, who may have had to move out or no longer living with their children, dealing with those issues right now, of their feelings, having to sit in the uncomfortable feelings of how this is, and what the Divine Feminine may have experienced before. So it's like when the masculines learn their lessons of what, when they thought that whoever they were married to, they had it easy, and now having to do all the work that the feminines were doing, and learning from that, oh, it really wasn't that easy, okay? So they're learning from their experiences now. But either way, they're going through some pain from detachment from their children. Centrally, I was getting a negative past returning to see if you will get sucked into the drama of it, possibly at home with children, and exploring psychic abilities of remote viewing of kids or twins. That's a confirmation. I was definitely getting the Divine Masculine, or the kids who are masculine, maybe exploring their own abilities of remote viewing. Definitely the Divine Masculine, though, like wanting to peek in on their kids as well as their Divine Feminine, but exploring that and actually learning the difference between how to feel that, because I'm very clairsentient. So as much as I feel my Divine Masculine, I also feel my Sun very strongly. So when he gets into his anxiety, I call him back and say, stop stressing, you're making me nuts, because I feel it. All right. So being able to distinguish between your children and your Divine Masculine. Okay. We are very energetically connected to our kids as well, and differentiating between the two. The challenge for the Knight of Wands is lighting a fire or starting a fire, knocking the Queen of Pentacles a little off kilter in an offer of love or affection. So you might have some words with either the Divine Masculine or your child, but it's just kind of like knocks you off kilter to kind of start a little fire to bring back that love, okay? So bring back the affection in your relationship. Your child may be difficult, or a twin may challenge you for a little sparring match, a little love sparring, okay? So then I was getting, and that's when I actually got a text right there of my son apologizing to me, which was really funny. Okay, so one child is coming up as maybe really smart and focused, and the other passionate and driven. You or your kids may be dealing with the children's father, his pain and addictions. One or both of your children may be awakening in different ways depending on the gender. Okay, so if it's a masculine or feminine, or what energy they're portraying. Feminine children may be connecting to a twin or a soulmate, and a masculine may be challenged by all his responsibilities. They may feel the separation and woundedness away from their mother, or the Empress energy, who always sweetly judged them, and now understanding that not everyone is as sweet as their mom as far as being judgmental, okay? The King of Wands may also be feeling the pain of what she gave and he didn't. So the karmic energy, the karmic masculine, could be the divine masculine as well with his karmic relationship, loving his addictions to pain more than he loved her. Now in the head and heart of the divine feminine is your kids, your angels, being patient with their spending issues, with them feeling poor and left out or left behind, unable to keep up with the girls. That can apply to the masculine or the feminine child. Okay, not being able to keep up with the girls. Draining family finances, but getting there. You know, the kids, they're always struggling when they're young because they're just starting out. They don't have a lot of money. And learning to leave anxiety behind and instead be excited or inspired, to see it in a different way, to use intuition to discover their true calling. And this may be true for the kids as well as the divine masculine. Kids may experiencing lack, drinking too much, control issues, and learning to eat more healthy. To not hold things in, but to express things to their mother or father without fear, knowing that their mother always judges in the sweetest way. So why do they keep having all this anxiety over it when they know things always work out fine? Instead of getting hung up on things, releasing the pain by offering something healthy and something small to start, or a hug. Okay, because sneakiness, lying, cheating, and stealing will be exposed now, as well as any jealousy and manipulation by pulling heartstrings. Soon for the divine feminine is all about the divine masculine's heart. Close encounters of the third kind. First responders is also coming up. First responders are waking new twins, announcing with emotions and getting to all who resonate, and not all the masculines may resonate with what the feminines are reporting. The masculine's heart is now in three directions of moving forward with a practical offer, or moving forward with work, losing money and status, and then the third is looking back passionately in a mature way, having mastered his passions, but needing to work on remastering manifestation abilities or making money, okay? How to create a solid foundation financially after a final judgment, giving more to the feminine, as the feminine may have sucked up to the judge. So I was getting some kind of final judgment, whether this is a divorce or a business issue. I was getting that the feminine got more in the final judgment, so the masculine might be a little pissed about that, but he may have felt it was really unfair because she either knew the judge or sucked up to the judge in some way, but that was the energy that was coming across. The divine masculine feels it was unfair, traveling at night and really on the attack about it in his head, okay, about all the work that he put into it and really how, you know, and the masculines often feel that way, especially if the wife is at home, that they did all the work, and it's not fair. At night, it feels like such a long road, but on another timeline, the messenger of truth is riding in quickly. The divine feminine is struck by light, so with a lot of light energies coming in right now, a message of love from one who's apart from you, who is overworking or can't focus and may be out of alignment because they're feeling weak, needing the courage to split or to leave a relationship or a business, or tell the truth, or to gain, they just need more clarity in their life. And it breaks your heart as a mother or as the divine feminine, allowing others to solve their own issues and wounds, because you have to allow them that. Okay? The cards that came up for the divine feminine were give your relationship a chance, calling in your soulmate, let your friends help you. And around the divine feminine is family and focusing on the top three, so the three who are most related to you in your family. Gaining clarity to detox sadness, loss, and regret by seeing a new perspective, being patient and wise when hands are tied and there's nothing you can do. Allowing others to deal with what they have to do. You know, the chips fall where they may. And this has to do with other family members. Finding peace with each other just by shining your light, and along with nature's patience and healing. Okay, so normal patience and healing. Clear blocks of getting your wish, of not finding peace, and sadness. Also clear blocks about feeling manipulated or being manipulative after suffering and feeling offensive or defensive, or, you know, on the attack. Get out of your head. But get out of that feeling that no matter what you do, you're always going to feel defensive about certain things on all timelines. So that's something you need to clear. Needing to aggressively tell your truth. It doesn't need to be aggressive, okay? You can always speak your truth, but you can always do it in a peaceful way. And if tempers rise, you always walk away, and you can always come back and address it again when it's a better time. So music and spiritual partnerships were the main energies for the read. I was getting that there may be some romantic BS, a split or division, a parting of the ways, or integrating the polarities or differences. So it's always your choice. You can always try to integrate your differences, or you can walk away and split from a relationship or a business or a work situation, whatever it is. A romantic chariot and 2 knights riding into the Divine Masculine's bat cave at night to play a little music. So the masculine may be having some guy friends over to play music, or express him to his Divine Feminine. So maybe he's preparing something for her. So I was getting 2 knights, so there may be something about 2 knights, like at nighttime, okay? But I was getting the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Wands. So it's either 2 friends coming in, or it's basically, it could be the Divine Masculine on 2 timelines, him being the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Wands, or his just different personalities and integrating them into one, bringing them into his heart. Riding into the Divine Masculine's bat cave at night to play a little music, or express himself to the Divine Feminine. So it could either be hanging out with friends, or literally 5D time with his Divine Feminine, or actual time with his Divine Feminine. So 2 friends coming over, like I said, it could be that. Also the Divine Masculine integrating his Knight of Swords and Knight of Wands, his truth with his passion, so that he can announce or spill his emotions so that she will get it. So he's preparing a way to come forward so that she will understand his true emotions. A new life, diamond in the rainbow. Purity amidst the guilty strings, the jealousy, giving with one hand while someone's taking from your other hand. The players, those of 2 minds, split personalities, and unwilling to unify if it means that they will be poor again. The purity and the new life, the diamond in the rainbow, is coming up to purify. Amidst all of this going on, the chaos, all of that melts away in the diamond rainbow. The crystalline light body, leaving karma behind, aligning with the opening lotus, finding happiness and starting over in the light of day, and letting go, and spirits connecting, letting go of attachments and jealousy, past injustices and attention or lack thereof of attention, to family happiness and kids talking, and messages and news about a possible bad decision that you made, or now learning to deliberate and not act so quickly or react into a bad decision, and now knowing to deliberate and take your time to make the right choice and always speak your truth to all. Leaving pain and family drain behind. The King of Wands separates from family home with kids, always in his heart, receiving light from his children, and his twin possibly, for a new life of purity and spirituality. Leaving pain, stress, and anxiety at home for inspiration. The King of Wands is learning about his psychic abilities with his twin or his kids or both, and he is feeling heartbreak and separation from family who seem happy without him. Okay, but both the Karmics and the Divine Master and Divine Feminines are heading for a new life that's more spiritual. Okay, so that's what I was getting for the Divine Feminine read. And now I'm going to show you the picture before I forget. I'm sorry when I do that. This is the Divine Feminine read for today. Okay. And then I'm going to pull you some oracle cards. We have the Ascension deck. Take a deep breath. Yeah. Okay, what are the messages for everyone watching today? Today is November 13, 2018. What are the messages? What are the messages for everyone today? Okay. Mary Magdalene came up and Kuan Yin at the bottom, which is perfect for kids. 43 is Kuan Yin. Okay. And the affirmation for Kuan Yin is I act from my divine feminine wisdom. Okay. Act from everything you've learned about being a mother. And Mary Magdalene's 35. Okay, and that's the day today, 35. It's an 8. Just like 35-8 came up for the day. And it says, Mary Magdalene was high initiate in the order of Essenes and the spiritual partner of Jesus. Okay, and one of the cards was spiritual partnered. Mary and Jesus. Which is 31-31. 31 is the 5 of Wands. There's a lot of expansion going, heart expansion going on here right now for both the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine is what it's saying. She is now master of the 6th ray, raising dogma into spirituality. Mary Magdalene's Ascension Retreat is Marseille with an S. She radiates a glowing buttercup yellow light to all who are tuned to her. Her light was hidden from us for centuries as she was misjudged about her role in Jesus' life. If you have felt wronged or misunderstood, Mary Magdalene offers you the courage to maintain your integrity. This card is an invitation to attune to Mary Magdalene to receive her blessing. And the affirmation is, I maintain my truth and see the spirituality in all things, even the difficult things, okay? Right, I'm going to do the past life deck. Okay, I was cleaning today. Thirsty. Okay, past life deck. Take another deep breath. What are the messages for everyone today? It's November 13, 2018. Okay. Two here. Finances is at the bottom, okay, which is definitely coming up for the masculine specifically, but really for both. Love life is under there. So finances are affecting your love life. And then the 2 cards that came up, so that was the underlying energy. Now the cards that are coming up for you are forgiveness. And look at the purity of that. So purity came up of forgiveness. Okay, the diamond in the rainbow. And then also karmic relationship came up. Okay. So again, this can be both the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminines in their karmic relationships. Again, a lot was coming up about the karmics and the children and their relationship, as well as more so for masculine and feminine today was coming up financial stuff on how to learn to manifest something different for himself. For the Divine Feminines, I'm getting more the direct relationship with karmics, whether they're your children or karmic masculines, fathers of the children, or other karmic masculines who may be around you right now. It's about leaving them, okay? Because this is about someone leaving to go to war. But that lighthearted energy between them, okay? And I'm also getting the energy of third encounters again. I mean, close encounters of the third kind. I'm getting the energy of the mountain where they met the ETs. So it's all about forgiveness in your karmic relationships. To purify, all right? To transmute those energies. Forgive, and forgive yourself. And let go. right? So when someone goes off to war, you have to let go, because you never know what's going to happen. You can't stop your life because your loved one goes away when you don't know when they're going to come back. You have to continue with your life. That's all mixed up. All right, now I have Journey of Love. Okay, as my left foot's falling asleep. That's a feminine thing. Wake up. Wake up your feminine side. We are back in the feminine energy. I've been getting that from yesterday too. It was calling on the feminine. Here we are again with Kuan Yin and Mary Magdalene. Alright, take another deep breath. This November 13, 2018. What is the advice for everyone watching? What is the advice? The highest good. Shakti, which is also feminine. Two cards really want to come out. Contemplations at the bottom. It's number 69. Okay, that's contemplation. Ooh, that's really feminine, shining her light. That's the underlying energy, the 69, which is also the Ace of Pentacles. That new life, which is the outcome card in the read. And then what first came out was Shakti, which is 19, or the sun. So it's kind of interesting because it's the sun, but it's feminine energy, Shakti. And then we have Seed of the Heart, which is 25. Okay, so like you know, the sun is 19. It's a 1. It's masculine energy. It's the 9 of endings and selflessness, compassion on the inside with the 1 on the outside. So it's really being seen as the masculine, but it's actually the feminine energy. Because 9, compassion is very feminine. It's very red though. Red, yellow, you know, there's orangey reds. Very passionate Shakti, but in a masculine energy. Seen as the masculine, but really soft on the inside. It's polarized. Okay, you got the 9 and the 1, the two extremes. The Seed of the Heart, 25. Like I said, 25 is the Knight of Wands, which also comes up here. Knight of Wands was in the challenge position in the read today. And that is it's a 7, which is very spiritual and quiet. It's that quiet before the storm. But it's really the freedom on the inside of expansion and fun, and but being more subdued on the outside of the feminine energy. So it's kind of opposite here. You know, the free Knight of Wands on the energy is more the masculine energy, and then the 2 of the very soft energy of the feminine on the outside. So let's see what they say, and they're very different colors too. One is the reds, oranges, and yellows, and the other is the blue, greens, and darker blacks type of thing, teal. Alright, so I'm going to read them both. First 19. Alright, so 19 is Shakti. Shakti is divine feminine fire. She is the body awakened with light. She is the divine feminine, and she is the Kundalini, the energetic force that moves through us, triggered by love, that leads to enlightenment of our body. With our Kundalini coming alive within us, we cannot remain as we once were. It is impossible. We may try to lead the same lives, be the same in our relationship patterns, and perhaps even behave properly, but it simply cannot be done. Soon our disguise slips, and people wonder, what happened to her? What's gotten into him? We are on fire with the divine, and we cannot help but misbehave. We are no longer satisfied with trying to be the good child or fearing we are the bad child. We know ourselves instead to be the divine child. The child divine lives fully and with passionate fire, not doing things the way they are supposed to be done perhaps, but living instead from the heart, and Spirit's connecting with me. Our body may ache as we burn through old pain, and sometimes the light within may seem so bright that it blinds us for a moment, but that will pass, and the misbehaving will suddenly be seen for what it is. The old rules just don't fit anymore. You don't plug a globe capable of illuminating the whole world into the bedside reading lamp without burning down the house. Best to let that light shine as it was meant to in the big arena. Shakti is making your light grow, beloved. Be prepared to shine brighter. This oracle brings you a message. You're going through energetic shifts in your subtle anatomy. Because your energy body and physical body have already begun to merge with each other, the energetic shifts will affect your physical body too. It is always wise to consult a healthcare practitioner, but at least some of your physical challenges at the moment, from aches and pains to tiredness, are due to the energetic awakening. Take responsible action as you feel necessary, such as tending to your physical well-being with health care that feels supportive, but also remember to rest, get some time in nature, and nurture your body as it is spiritual awakening into greater light. So for those of you who have been going through this for a while, it's just a reminder of who you are. But to those who are newly awakening, you may not understand why you're feeling all these aches and pains of expanding as a spiritual being. So know that it's okay, and to allow it. And if you're concerned, of course, go see someone. But you just need to start just noticing these things and maybe taking better care of yourself, maybe eating healthier foods, or just narrowing your drinks down to things that are more healthy, like water. But yeah, but not to be scared, and not to worry, and not to be in fear. The poem reads, I have watched you hurting and have felt helpless to make life better for you. Okay, so this can apply to the message today about mothers and their children, as well as fathers and their children, and dealing with ex-partners and current partners. I have watched you hurting and felt helpless to make life better for you. Loving you is having to make choices, to let you be who you are, to become who you become, and all the who's yet to come. To love you is to ride the waves of your passionate embrace of life, ever mindful of the change in the wind and the occasional tempest brewing. Loving you is having to make choices, knowing it isn't my fault. I can still choose to take it personally, or just be Spirit's connecting while I listen and watch you unfold. Your heart is a beauty I will always love. It's the part of you that hasn't changed much over time. While I lie beside you and hear you breathe, when I touch your skin or caress your hair, you are timeless, and I choose loving you. Okay, so it's a really sweet message to all those that you love, to allow them to expand in their own ways, even if it means that you can't help them. Okay, that it's all divine. Okay, so then 25 is seed of the heart. Within each one of us is a divine seed of love waiting to blossom into fullness. We don't always know what type of blossom we shall be, however, and sometimes if we try to figure it out in advance, the blossoming itself can cause us anxiety, pain, or fear, because it's taking us in an unknown, unexpected direction. I'm sorry, I'm tripping over my words. I guess we're in the shadow of Mercury retrograde. We may even fear that the direction we are heading is away from our life path and purpose, and if that were even possible. The seed in the heart arises as guidance when we are unfolding in a new manifestation of the divine light within. It comes as encouragement to trust, to surrender, to allow, and to be as open, unthinking, and ready for the unexpected as possible. A plant just needs the right conditions to grow healthy, and if you've ever seen a blade of grass pushing up through a crack in the pavement, then you'll know that when something is meant to grow into the light, it will do so, even against the most apparently insurmountable odds. This oracle brings your guidance. The right conditions are being brought to you. The most perfect support for your own divine blossoming. Trust, know that the seed in your heart knows how to grow, and life supports it. It is also a sign that something in your relationships is sprouting, a new energy, and don't be afraid to try new ways of relating now as your life energy supports it. Okay, so again, in your relationships with your family and your children, try new ways of relating with them and letting go more, trusting them too, trusting that they know how to follow their own divine guidance to figure things out and work through their problems. When sky can imagine, the dark awake. In awe, light pervades and bears the vast tranquil mystery, softly caressing the blue, bold birth. Okay? So don't be hard on yourself, and just allow everything to come. The conditions are being prepared for you. Like I said, we're in the calm before the storm, or the preparation period, actually. And don't be afraid of the way that things may come in for you. Okay, so sometimes things have to come in as a storm. Sometimes to wake people up, or to really change you in a completely different direction. Sometimes we just need that little kick in the butt. So don't be afraid of that happening. Stop trying to prepare so much in advance for anything that might happen, because that's what creates the worry and anxiety. Let go and try to live in the moment. Okay, let things flow naturally. I'm going to pull one more card for you from the Rider-Waite. Know when you trust and you have faith, you don't need to prepare, because you know that no matter what happens, the universe is always working in your favor, and that you can deal with any challenge in the moment, right? You either are able to deal with it, or you need to walk away, which is okay too. Okay. Take another deep breath. All right, let's see. What's last card for everyone? What is the energy everyone needs to know for the highest and best for all those concerned? What is one final card for everyone watching today? It's November 13, 2018. What do we need to know? Okay, the bottom of the deck is the Two of Pentacles reversed. Okay, let's see what's behind it. Okay, that has to do with the masculine. Okay, it could be a masculine or a karmic. But yeah, and the Four of Cups is under that. So, and the Devil reversed is under that. So, the underlying energy has to do with during the detoxing, whatever they're detoxing from, for the masculine, for the divine masculine, I'm going to say, whatever they're detoxing from, it's boring, and they're learning to ground and integrate and appreciate that boredom for what it is, for what it's used for, but it's kind of putting them in a negative place as the King of Swords reversed, right? Just their negative self-talk. While they're letting go of the facade, they may have tripped up, but they also may be breaking patterns, and that's about withdrawal, detox, okay? So in breaking patterns, they might be struggling a little bit. So they might be a little snippy, all right, or a little anger there, frustration. But it's because of needing to learn patience, of going through this boredom, okay, where it's just really supposed to be used for grounding and integrating. That's the underlying energy. The two cards that came up are High Priestess and the Three of Wands. I'll show you the cards. Okay. So the High Priestess came out first, and she's all about your psychic abilities and intuition, about being in that quiet space. She's definitely the quiet before the storm. Very powerful quiet before the storm. It's also about secrets, but not in a malicious way. They're just secrets that she knows that not everyone else may understand, so it's okay to keep it to herself. But it's also about the Three of Wands here, right? And this one, if there's nothing there. He's not waiting for a ship to come in. It's just desert. This is teaching us to stay present and stop looking to the future. There's nothing out there. See what's right in front of you. Look, he's got growth around him here. He's not noticing. He's only looking out to the future. There might be some... Oh, that's funny. There's something out there. I don't know if it's supposed to be water, but it's yellow and orange. It's not blue. So that just might be water that's very yellow and orange because of the sun reflecting on it. So there might be some boats out there on the water. I don't know. They don't really look like boats in this picture. But I always see it as the desert, and maybe like, and actually they look like candles that are not lit. Like there's nothing out there. To me it looks like a barren desert. And I'm always seeing the Three of Wands these days as not waiting for your ships to come in or looking toward the future, building the future, which it can be, but it's more about staying present, all right, and seeing what's right in front of you. And that's how you build your future. Using your intuition and staying present. That's 0 point. Okay? So, good message. I'm glad to see you guys. Thank you so much for your likes, your shares, subscribes, and your comments as always. And make sure you drink your water. If you need anything from me, whether you need a card read or some coaching about your twin flame dynamic, I'm really good at pulling out wounds that you can't see yourself. You know, the things that you need to clear. So if you need anything, all my information is below on my website and my email. Just let me know if there's something you don't see and you need. And my CD is Ashes, Twin Towers to Twin Flames. May help you bring up some wounds and purge. And I like to think it's nice music to listen to as well. And it's available, you know, all the main places. iTunes, Google, Amazon, and CD Baby. And also my clearing video, my 57-minute clearing video below. It's still on sale below. And I have 25% off all month, so you can take advantage on that as well. So it's really great. And I've been noticing recently, because I use all different things at night to clear before I go to sleep, but I always feel better after I use that clearing video that I made. So you might want to check it out. It's great for the throat chakra clearing. And just let me know. And take care, you guys. Have an amazing night and week. And rise and be loved.